Good evening, and welcome to Footnotes in Folly. I am Professor Reginald St. John Pemberton, and tonight we open one of Shakespeare's last and most stately plays, the famous history of the life of King Henry VIII. We give you the whole of it, complete and unabridged, in clear modern English. The plain rendering and the asides are my own. This is part 1. A spoken prologue sets out first to warn us off any hope of merriment. This, it says, is a sad and serious tale of great persons brought down from greatness to ruin. Then the play proper begins at the court of King Henry, where the proud Cardinal Wolsey rules all. The Duke of Buckingham, who loathes the Cardinal, finds himself suddenly arrested for treason. The good Queen Katharine pleads against Wolsey's crushing taxes, and at a glittering masked feast the king, slipping in disguised, sets eyes for the first time on a young woman of the Queen's household, Anne Boleyn. From these first moves the whole pageant of rise and fall begins to turn. Let us begin.
Prologue enters. I have not come this time to make you laugh. We now present matters with a grave and serious face, sorrowful, noble, active affairs, full of ceremony and grief, scenes high enough to make the eye overflow. Those who can feel pity may, if they think it right, shed a tear here. The subject deserves it. Those who spend their money hoping to believe what they see may find truth here as well. Those who come only to watch a pageant or two, and are content for the play to pass, if they sit quietly and willingly, I promise may carry away the worth of their shilling richly repaid in 2 short hours. Only those who come expecting a merry, bawdy play, the clash of shields, or a fool in a long motley coat trimmed with yellow, will be disappointed. For, gentle hearers, understand this: to rank the truth we have chosen with mere foolery and fighting would not only betray our own judgment and the purpose we bring, which is to make only truth our aim, but would also leave us without one understanding friend. Therefore, for goodness' sake, and because you are known as the first and happiest hearers in the town, be solemn, as we mean to make you. Imagine you see the very people of our noble story as they once lived. Imagine you see them great, attended by the vast press and eager labor of 1,000 friends. Then in a moment, see how quickly such greatness meets misery. And if you can still be merry, then, I will say, a man may weep upon his wedding day. Prologue exits. The Duke of Norfolk enters at one door. At the other, the Duke of Buckingham and the Lord Abergavenny enter. Good morning, and I am glad to meet you. How have you been since we last saw each other in France? I thank your grace, I have been well, and ever since then I have admired even more freshly what I saw there. An unlucky fever kept me prisoner in my chamber when those sons of glory, those 2 lights of men, met in the vale of Andron, between Gines and Ard. I was there. I saw them greet each other on horseback. I saw them dismount, and how they clung together in their embrace, as if they had grown into one man. If they had become one, what 4 kings on their thrones could have equalled that single compounded majesty? The whole time I was a prisoner in my chamber. Then you lost the sight of earthly glory. Men might say that until then pomp had stood alone, but now it was married to something greater than itself. Each day that followed outdid the day before, until the last made all former wonders its own. One day the French, glittering all over in gold like pagan gods, outshone the English. The next day the English made Britain look like India, for every man who stood there seemed like a mine of treasure. Their little pages looked like gilded cherubim. The ladies, too, unused to labor, almost sweated under the weight of their finery, yet that very effort became another ornament upon them. One mask was cried up as incomparable, and the next night's entertainment made it seem poor and foolish. The 2 kings were equal in brightness. Each seemed best or worst according to whose presence held the eye. While one was seen, he was praised. When both were present, men said they saw only one greatness, and no judge dared move his tongue to compare them. When these sons, as their heralds called them, challenged noble spirits to arms, the combatants performed beyond imagination, so that old fabulous tales, now seen to be possible, gained credit, and Bevis himself was believed. Oh, you go very far. As I honor truth and love honesty and honor, I swear that even the best speaker would lessen the life of everything by describing it, for the action itself had its own tongue. All was royal. Nothing rebelled against its arrangement. Order displayed every part, and every office performed its full function distinctly. Who guided it? I mean, who put the body and limbs of this great spectacle together, as you suppose? One, certainly, who seems to promise no natural fitness for such business. I pray you, who, my lord? All this was ordered by the careful judgment of the Right Reverend Cardinal of York. May the devil prosper him. No man's pie is safe from his ambitious finger. What had he to do with these violent vanities? I wonder that such a lump of grease can, merely by his bulk, block the rays of the beneficial sun and keep them from the earth. Surely, sir, there is substance in him that drives him toward these ends. He is not supported by ancestry, whose grace marks out the road for heirs, nor called upward for great deeds done for the crown, nor allied with powerful helpers. Yet, spider-like, out of a web drawn from himself, he proves that the force of his own merit makes his way. It is a gift heaven gives him, and it buys him a place next to the king. I cannot tell what heaven has given him. Let some graver eye look into that. But I can see his pride peeping through every part of him. Where did he get that? If not from hell, then the devil is miserly, or has given all away before, and Wolsey begins a new hell in himself. Why, when the king went out to France, Did he take it upon himself, without the king's knowledge, to appoint who should attend him? He made up the list of all the gentry, mostly men on whom he meant to lay great expense and little honour, and his own letter, without the honourable council board, had to summon them in his written orders. I know kinsmen of mine, at least 3, whose estates have been so sickened by this, that they will never be as plentiful as they were before. Oh, many have broken their backs by laying manners upon themselves for this great journey. What did this vanity produce except talk of a very poor result? With grief, I think the peace between the French and us is not worth the cost that made it. Every man, after the terrible storm that followed, became inspired, and without consulting anyone, burst into a common prophecy that this tempest, beating against the garment of this peace, foretold its sudden tearing. And that has now come into bud, for France has damaged the league and seized our merchants' goods at Bordeaux. Is that why the ambassador is silenced? Indeed it is. A fine title for a peace, and bought at a wasteful price. Why, our reverend cardinal carried all this business through. If it please your grace, the state has noticed the private quarrel between you and the cardinal. I advise you, from a heart that wishes you honour and abundant safety, to consider the cardinal's malice together with his power. Remember also that whatever his high hatred wants to accomplish will not lack an instrument within his power. You know his nature, that he is revengeful, and I know his sword has a sharp edge. It is long, and it may be said to reach far. Where it cannot extend, he throws it. Store my counsel in your heart. You will find it wholesome. Look, here comes the rock I advise you to avoid. Cardinal Wolsey enters, his purse carried before him, with certain of the guard and 2 secretaries carrying papers. As the cardinal passes, he fixes his eye on Buckingham, and Buckingham fixes his eye on him. Both are full of disdain. The Duke of Buckingham surveyor, eh? Where is his examination? Here, if it please you. Is he ready in person? Yes, please your grace. Good. Then we shall know more, and Buckingham shall lessen that big look. Cardinal Wolsey and his train exit. This butcher's dog has a poisonous mouth, and I have no power to muzzle him. Therefore it is best not to wake him while he sleeps. A beggar's written charge outweighs a nobleman's blood. What are you heated? Ask God for temperance. That is the only medicine your illness needs. I read matter against me in his looks, and his eye insulted me as if I were his low object. At this instant he is boring into me with some trick. He has gone to the king. I will follow and stare him down. Stay, my lord, and let your reason question your anger about what you are going to do. To climb steep hills requires a slow pace at first. Anger is like a hot, full-blooded horse. If it is allowed its own way, its own fire wears it out. No man in England can advise me as well as you can. Be to yourself what you would be to your friend. I will go to the king, and from a mouth of honour utterly cry down this which fellow's insolence, or else proclaim that there is no difference between persons. Be advised. Do not heat a furnace for your enemy so hot that it singes yourself. By violent speed we may outrun the very thing we run toward, and lose by overrunning it. Do you not know that the fire which makes liquor rise until it boils over, while seeming to increase it wastes it? Be advised. I say again, no English soul is stronger to direct you than your own, if with the sap of reason you would quench, or at least cool, the fire of passion. Sir, I thank you, and I will go by your prescription. But this man swollen to the height of pride, whom I name not from a flood of bile, but from sincere conviction, I know by intelligence and proofs as clear as fountains in July, when every grain of gravel can be seen to be corrupt and treasonous. Do not say treasonous. I will say it to the king, and make my proof as strong as a rock bound sure. Listen. This holy fox, or wolf, or both, for he is as ravenous as he is subtle, and as inclined to mischief as he is able to perform it, his mind and office infecting one another back and forth, only to display his pomp in France as well as here at home, urged our master the king into that last costly treaty, the meeting that swallowed so much treasure and, like a glass, broke in the rinsing. In faith, so it did. Pray allow me, sir. This cunning cardinal drew the articles of the agreement as he pleased, and they were ratified whenever he cried, "Let it be so," to as much purpose as giving a crutch to a dead man. But our Count Cardinal has done this, and therefore it is well, for worthy Wolsey, who cannot err, did it. Now this follows, and I take it as a young whelp born from the old dam, treason. Charles the Emperor, under pretence of seeing the Queen his aunt, for that was indeed his excuse, but truly he came to whisper with Wolsey, makes a visit here. He feared that the meeting between England and France, through their friendship, might breed him some harm, for dangers threatening him peeped out from this league. He deals privately with our cardinal, and as I believe, and I believe rightly, the emperor paid before he promised, so that his request was granted before it was even asked. But when the way had been made and paved with gold, the emperor desired this, that Wolsey would please to alter the king's course and break the peace already mentioned. Let the king know, as he soon shall by me, that the cardinal thus buys and sells his honour as he pleases, and for his own advantage. I am sorry to hear this of him, and I could wish you were somewhat mistaken in it. No, not in a single syllable. I declare him in the very shape in which proof will show him. Brandon enters, with a sergeant at arms before him and 2 or 3 of the guard. Do your office, sergeant. Execute it. Sir, my lord the Duke of Buckingham, Earl of Hereford, Stafford, and Northampton, I arrest you for high treason in the name of our most sovereign king. You see, my lord, the net has fallen on me. I shall perish under contrivance and plotting. I am sorry to see you taken from liberty, considering the business now at hand. It is his highness's pleasure that you go to the Tower. It will help nothing to plead my innocence, for that stain is upon me which makes my whitest part look black. The will of heaven be done in this, and in all things. I obey. Oh, my lord Abergavenny, farewell. No, he must keep you company. To Abergavenny, the king is pleased that you shall go to the Tower until you know how he decides further. As the duke said, the will of heaven be done, and the king's pleasure shall be obeyed by me. Here is a warrant from the king to arrest Lord Montague, and the bodies of the duke's confessor John de la Carre, and one Gilbert Peck, his chancellor. So. These are the limbs of the plot. No more, I hope. A monk of the Chartreux. Oh, Nicholas Hopkins? He. My surveyor is false. The too great cardinal has shown him gold. My life is already measured out. I am the shadow of poor Buckingham, whose form this instant cloud now covers by darkening my clear sun. My lord, farewell. They exit. Trumpets sound. King Henry enters, leaning on the cardinal's shoulder, with the nobles and Sir Thomas Lovell. The cardinal takes his place at the king's right side, just below him. My very life, and the best part of my heart, thanks you for this great care. I was standing in the path of a fully armed conspiracy, and I thank you for choking it off. Bring Buckingham's gentleman before us. I will hear his confessions in person, and he shall again relate, point by point, his master's treasons. A noise is heard within, crying room for the Queen. Queen Katharine enters, ushered by the Duke of Norfolk and the Duke of Suffolk. She kneels. The king rises from his throne, lifts her up and kisses her. No, we must kneel longer. I come as a petitioner. Rise and take your place beside us. Half your request need never be spoken. You already have half our power. The other half is granted before you ask. Say what you wish and have it. I thank your majesty. My petition is this, that you would love yourself, and in that love would not leave your honor or the dignity of your office unguarded. My lady, go on. I have been appealed to by many people, and honest ones, who say that your subjects are in great distress. Commissions have been sent among them that have wounded the heart of their loyalty. In this matter, my good Lord Cardinal, though they pour the bitterest reproaches on you as the mover of these levies, still the king our master, whose honor heaven keep unstained, does not escape rude language either. Indeed, such language breaks through the bounds of loyalty and almost sounds like open rebellion. Not almost sounds like it. It does. Because of these taxes, all the clothiers, unable to keep the many workers who depend on them, have dismissed the spinsters, carters, fullers, and weavers. These people, unfit for any other way of life, forced by hunger and with no other means, are now in desperate uproar, daring the worst outcome, and danger is moving among them. Taxation? What kind? What taxation? My Lord Cardinal, since you are blamed for it along with us, do you know of this taxation? If it please you, sir, I know only a single part of anything that concerns the state, and I stand only in that rank where others walk step by step with me. No, my lord? You know no more than others? Yet you shape matters that all must know of, though those matters are not healthy for people who would rather not know them, yet are forced to become acquainted with them. These exactions which my sovereign asks about are most painful to hear of, and to bear them a man's back is sacrificed to the load. They say they were devised by you, or else you are enduring a very hard accusation. Still exaction. What is the nature of it? Tell us, what kind of exaction is this? I am too bold in testing your patience, but I am encouraged by the pardon you promised me. The subject's grief comes from commissions that compel each man to pay the sixth part of his property, to be collected without delay. The excuse given for it is your wars in France. This makes mouths bold. Tongues spit out their duty, and cold hearts freeze allegiance within them. Their curses now live where their prayers once lived, and obedient, manageable loyalty has become a slave to every angry will. I wish your highness would consider this quickly, for there is no more urgent business. By my life, this is against our pleasure. As for me, I would no further in this than by a single vote, and that vote did not pass from me without the learned approval of the judges. If I am slandered by ignorant tongues, people who know neither my abilities nor my person, yet insist on becoming the recorders of my actions, let me say this is only the fate of high office, and the rough thicket through which virtue must pass. We must not halt necessary actions because we fear malicious critics. Such people, like ravenous fish, follow a newly trimmed vessel, but gain nothing beyond empty longing. What we often do best, sick interpreters and weak ones too, deny as ours or refuse to approve. What is worst, if it strikes a coarser nature, is often praised as our best deed. If we stand still for fear that our movement will be mocked or picked apart, we should take root where we sit, or sit only as statues of state. Things done well, and with proper care, free themselves from fear. Things done without precedent must be feared in their result. Have you any precedent for this commission? I believe you have none. We must not tear our subjects away from our laws and fasten them to our will. A sixth part of each man's goods? A terrifying contribution. Why, we would take from every tree its branch, bark, and part of the timber, and though we leave it with a root, so hacked as that, the air will drink up its sap. Send our letters to every county where this has been questioned, with a free pardon to each man who has refused the force of this commission. See to it, I pray you, I place it in your care. A word with you. Have letters written to every shire announcing the king's grace and pardon. The aggrieved commons have a hard opinion of me. Let it be spread abroad that this revocation and pardon come through my intercession. I will soon advise you further about the proceeding. The secretary exits. The surveyor enters. I am sorry that the Duke of Buckingham has fallen under your displeasure. It grieves many. The gentleman is learned and a most rare speaker. No one owes more to nature. His education is such that he could equip and instruct great teachers, and never need help outside himself. Yet see, when such noble gifts are not well governed, and the mind has once grown corrupt, they turn into vicious shapes, 10 times uglier than they were ever beautiful. This man, so complete that he was counted among wonders, and whose hour of speech once seemed to us a delighted listening, no more than a minute, this man, my lady, has put the graces that were once his into monstrous habits, and has become as black as if he were smeared in hell. Sit by us. You shall hear from this trusted gentleman of his matters that will make honour sad. Command him to recount the practices already mentioned, of which we cannot feel too little grief nor hear too much truth. Stand forward, and with a bold spirit relate what you, like a careful subject, have gathered from the Duke of Buckingham. Speak freely. First, it was usual with him, and every day would infect his speech, to say that if the king should die without issue, he would manage matters so that the sceptre became his. I have heard him speak these very words to his son-in-law, Lord Abergavenny, to whom he also swore threats of revenge against the cardinal. Please your highness mark the danger contained in this point. His wish shows no friendship to your royal person. His will is deeply malicious, and it reaches beyond you to your friends. My learned Lord Cardinal, present everything with charity. Go on. On what did he base his title to the crown? On our failure of heirs? Have you ever heard him speak anything to that point? He was brought to this by a vain prophecy of Nicholas Henton. Who was that Henton? Sir, a Chartreux friar, his confessor, who fed him every minute with words of sovereignty. How do you know this? Not long before your highness set out for France, the Duke, being at the Rose in the parish of St. Lawrence Pulteney, asked me what people in London were saying about the French journey. I answered that men feared the French would prove treacherous to the king's danger. At once the Duke said that was indeed the fear, and that he suspected it would prove the truth of certain words spoken by a holy monk. That monk, he said, has often sent to me asking me to allow John de la Carre, my chaplain, a chosen hour to hear from him a matter of some importance. After the monk had solemnly sworn, under the seal of confession, that what he spoke my chaplain should tell no living creature but me, he proceeded with sober confidence and pauses in this way. Neither the king nor his heirs, tell the Duke, shall prosper. Tell him to work to gain the love of the common people. The Duke shall govern England. If I know you rightly, you were the Duke's surveyor and lost your office after the tenants complained. Take great care that you do not accuse a noble person out of spite and ruin your own nobler soul. I say take care, yes, I beg you from my heart. Let him continue. Go forward. On my soul, I will speak only truth. I told my lord the Duke that the monk might have been deceived by the devil's illusions, and that it was dangerous for him to dwell so long on this thought until it shaped some design in him, which, if he believed it, it was very likely to do. He answered, Tush, it can do me no harm, and added further that if the king had died in his last sickness, the cardinal's and Sir Thomas Lovell's heads would have come off. Ha! What so foul as that? Aha! There is treason in this man. Can you say more? I can, my liege. Proceed. When he was at Greenwich, after your highness had reproved the Duke about Sir William Bulmer. I remember such a time. Sir William Bulmer was my sworn servant, yet the Duke kept him as his own. But go on. What followed? If, he said, I had been committed for this, meaning to the Tower, I thought, I would have played the part my father meant to act against the usurper Richard. My father, when Richard was at Salisbury, asked to come into his presence, and if that request had been granted, while seeming to perform his duty, he would have put his knife into him. A giant traitor! Now, madam, can his highness live in safety while this man is out of prison? God mend all. There is something more that wants to come out of you. What do you say? After speaking of the Duke his father and the knife, he stretched himself up, with one hand on his dagger and the other spread over his breast, lifting his eyes, and he uttered a horrible oath. The meaning was that, if he were badly used, he would outdo his father by as much as an actual performance outdoes an unresolved intention. There is his conclusion, to sheath his knife in us. He is arrested. Call him to immediate trial. If he can find mercy in the law, it is his. If none, let him not seek it from us. By day and night he is a traitor to the height. They all exit. Lord Chamberlain and Lord Sandys enter an antechamber in the palace. Can it be possible that the enchantments of France have tricked men into such strange habits? New fashions are followed, however ridiculous they are. Even if they are unmanly, people still copy them. As far as I can see, all our Englishmen have gained from the recent journey is a twitch or two in the face, and sharp twitches too. When those fits seize them, You would swear their noses had served as counselors to Pepin or Clotharius, so solemnly do they carry them. They all have new legs too, and lame ones. Anyone who had never seen them walk before would think Bone, Spavin or Springholt ruled among them. Death, my lord, their clothes are cut in such a heathen style that surely they have worn out all Christendom. Sir Thomas Lovell enters. What now? What news, Sir Thomas Lovell? Faith, my lord, I hear of none except the new proclamation posted on the court gate. What is it about? The reform of our travelled gallants who fill the court with quarrels, chatter, and tailors. I am glad it is there. Now I would beg our Frenchified gentlemen to understand that an English courtier may be wise and never have seen the Louvre. They must either, for those are the terms, give up those scraps of folly and feathers they brought from France, along with all the honourable marks of ignorance belonging to them, such as duels and fireworks, insulting better men than they can ever be out of some foreign cleverness, entirely renouncing their faith in tennis and tall stockings, short blistered breeches, and all those badges of travel, and learn to behave like honest men again, or else pack themselves back to their old playfellows. There, I suppose, with full permission, they may wee away the last tale, then of their lewdness and be laughed at. It is time to dose them with medicine. Their diseases have grown so infectious. What a loss our ladies will suffer when these neat little vanities are gone. Yes, indeed, there will be true sorrow, my lords. The sly rogues have learned a quick trick for laying ladies down. A French song and a fiddle have no equal. The devil fiddle them. I am glad they are leaving, for surely there is no reforming them. Now an honest country lord like me, long kept out of the game, may bring his plain song, get an hour's hearing, and by Our Lady be accepted as current music too. Well said, Lord Sandys. You have not lost your colt's tooth yet. No, my lord, and I will not while I still have a stump left. Sir Thomas, where were you going? To the cardinal's. Your lordship is a guest too. Oh, that is true. Tonight he gives a supper, and a grand one, for many lords and ladies. I assure you the beauty of this kingdom will be there. That churchman truly has a generous mind, and a hand as fruitful as the land that feeds us. His gifts fall everywhere like dew. No doubt he is noble. Anyone who said otherwise had a foul mouth. He may be noble, my lord, he has the means for it. In him, stinginess would look like a worse sin than false doctrine. Men of his calling ought to be very liberal. They are placed here as examples. True they are. A few now set such great examples. My barge is waiting. Your lordship shall come along. Come, good Sir Thomas, or we shall be late, which I would not wish, for I was asked, together with Sir Henry Guildford, to serve tonight as comptrollers. I am at your lordship's service. They exit. Music plays. In a hall at York Place, a small table stands beneath a canopy for the cardinal, and a longer table is set for the guests. Anne Boleyn enters with several other ladies and gentlemen. Sir Henry Guildford enters from another door. Ladies, his grace sends a general welcome to you all. He gives this night to pleasure and to you. He hopes that no one in this noble company has brought a single care in with her. He wants everyone to be as merry as good company, good wine, and a generous welcome can make good people. The Lord Chamberlain, Lord Sandys, and Sir Thomas Lovell enter. Oh, my lord, you are late. The very thought of this beautiful company gave wings to my feet. You are young, Sir Harry Guildford. Sir Thomas Lovell, if the cardinal had even half my worldly thoughts in him, some of these ladies would find a lively feast before they rested, and I think that would please them better. On my life, they are a sweet society of fair women. Oh, if your lordship were confessor now to one or two of them! I wish I were. They would find their penance easy. Really? How easy? As easy as a soft down bed could make it. Sweet ladies, will you please sit? Sir Harry, take that side. I will take charge of this. His grace is coming in. No, you must not sit frozen. 2 women placed together make cold weather. My Lord Sandys, you are one who will keep them awake. Please sit between these ladies. Gladly, and thank your lordship. With your permission, sweet ladies. If I happen to talk a little wildly, forgive me. I inherited it from my father. Was he mad, sir? Oh, very mad, extremely mad in love too, but he would bite no one. Just as I do now, he would kiss 20 of you in a single breath. He kisses her. Well done, my lord. So, now you are properly seated. Gentlemen, the fault will be yours if these fair ladies leave here frowning. For my small cure, leave me alone. Music plays. Cardinal Wolsey enters, and takes his place of state. You are welcome, my fair guests. Any noble lady or gentleman here who is not freely merry is no friend of mine. Confirm my welcome, and to all of you, good health. He drinks. Your grace is noble. Give me a bowl large enough to hold my thanks, and spare me so much talking. My Lord Sandys, I am obliged to you. Cheer your neighbours. Ladies, you are not merry. Gentlemen, whose fault is that? The red wine must first rise in their fair cheeks, my lord. Then they will talk us into silence. You are a merry player, my Lord Sandys. Yes, if I may make my play. Here is to your ladyship. Pledge it, madam, for it is to such a thing. You cannot show me what? I told your grace they would start talking soon. Drums and trumpets sound. Cannon chambers are fired. What is that? Some of you look outside. A servant exits. What warlike sound is this, and for what purpose? No, ladies, do not be afraid. By all the laws of war, you are protected. The servant returns. Well, what is it? A noble troop of strangers, or so they seem. They have left their barge and landed, and are coming this way like great ambassadors from foreign princes. Good Lord Chamberlain, go and welcome them. You can speak the French language. Please receive them nobly and bring them into our presence, where this heaven of beauty shall shine fully upon them. Some of you attend him. The Lord Chamberlain exits with attendants. All rise, and the tables are removed. Your banquet is now interrupted, but we will mend it. Good digestion to you all, and once more I shower a welcome on you. Welcome, everyone. Music plays. The king and others enter as maskers, dressed like shepherds and ushered by the Lord Chamberlain. They pass directly before the cardinal, and salute him gracefully. A noble company. What do they desire? Because they speak no English, they asked me to tell your grace this. Having heard the fame of this noble and beautiful gathering that was to meet here tonight, they could do no less, out of the great respect they bear to beauty, than leave their flocks, and under your gracious guidance ask permission to view these ladies and request an hour of revelry with them. Tell them, Lord Chamberlain, that they have honored my poor house, for which I give them 1,000 thanks, and ask them to enjoy themselves. The maskers choose ladies. The king chooses Anne Boleyn, the fairest hand I ever touched. Oh, beauty, until now I never knew you. Music plays, and they dance. My lord. Your grace? Please tell them this from me. There must be one among them who, by his bearing, is more worthy of this place than I am. If I only knew him, I would surrender it to him with all my love and duty. I will, my lord. He whispers with the maskers. What do they say? They all admit that there is such a one indeed, and they would have your grace find him out. Then he will take the place. Let me see, then. With all your permission, gentlemen, I will make my royal choice here. You have found him, cardinal. You hold a fair assembly. You do well, my lord. You are a churchman, or else cardinal. I might judge you rather severely now. I am glad your grace has grown so playful. My lord Chamberlain, come here, please. Who is that fair lady? If it please your grace, she is the daughter of Sir Thomas Boleyn, the Viscount Rochford, one of her highness's women. By heaven, she is a delicate beauty. Sweetheart, I would be rude to lead you out and not kiss you. A health, gentlemen. Let it go round. Sir Thomas Lovell, is the banquet ready in the privy chamber? Yes, my lord. Your grace, I fear you are a little heated from dancing. I fear I am too much heated. There is fresher air, my lord, in the next chamber. Lead in your ladies, every one of you. Sweet partner, I must not leave you yet. Let us be merry. Good my lord cardinal, I have 6 healths to drink to these fair ladies, and one more dance to lead them through again. Then we will dream over who stands highest in favor. Let the music strike up. They all exit with trumpets sounding.
There we pause, with the wheel just starting to turn. Cardinal Wolsey sits at the height of his power. He has had the proud Duke of Buckingham seized for treason and a bought man's word, and he keeps the king's favour and the kingdom's purse in his own hands. But the king's eye has wandered. At Wolsey's own feast Henry has danced with Anne Boleyn, and that dance will one day cost a queen her crown and a cardinal his head. Next time, in part 2, a duke goes to the block, a divorce is set in motion, and Queen Katharine stands trial. Mind the footnotes, and beware the folly.